residents in the city. They had been shutting off water for years, but nowhere on this scale.
Welcome, welcome, beloved community. We are back again with yet another installment of the People's Water Board Coalition's Water Wednesdays webcast. And as always, I am here with my beloved co-host, Valerie Jean.
Hi, everyone.
And we cannot forget our behind-the-scenes tech guru, Miss Angelica. And today, we are going to give you some informative information to help you make a clear decision in the upcoming race. We have did a survey and posed several questions to our current candidates and find out exactly what their viewpoints are on some things that should be very important to us and definitely are important to me and Valerie.
That's
So
right.
it is a short show and we're going to jump right in and, review their responses to the survey we presented to them.
Right. I mean, first, August 5th, we need everybody out there. We need everybody to vote. The mayor, the current mayor that we have, did not care if people had safe, affordable water
Yes.
until it became it was far beyond a crisis before he actually responded to it.
Until
We
like a
ended up with the
quarter
Lifeline
of
plan.
our community was cut off from water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they shut off whole neighborhoods at a time, mine included, at under this current administration. So the People's Water Board Coalition really wanted to poll and survey all of the mayoral candidates and find out, what their stance was. And we polled all 10 of them that are running, and only 6 of them responded, which was interesting to us because water is such an important thing here in Detroit.
Yes.
Everything from keeping the water safe to making sure that it's affordable and everybody has access to it, because in the past that simply wasn't the case.
Yeah. Side note on that, do you remember that they hired an outside contractor called Hamrick to conduct the shutoffs? And the amount of money they paid them, the
12
two
million.
times their contract in total was 12 million. Yes. And with that, they could have pretty much wiped out water insecurity and instability in the city.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead, they decided to hire a demolition company, Hamrick, to shut off whole neighborhoods at a time when they could have helped people indeed. But that was the mayor. That was the mayor's buddies, right? He was giving out contracts left and right. And DWSD didn't have the infrastructure to shut off whole neighborhoods at a time.
Exactly.
So they gave it to Hamrick. And let's remember, Hamrick, they're a demolition company, right? When they were shutting people off, they ruined the infrastructure. They used sledgehammers to turn people's water back on.
They poured cement down people's curb cocks.
I mean, think about it. And then we move forward to when COVID happened, and we pressured the governor to say, hey, everybody's water needs to be turned on. This is a public health crisis, right? They couldn't turn everybody's water on because they had hired a demolition company to completely ruin the pipes. They had to fix the pipes before they could turn everybody's water on. So it became a years long struggle after they did that.
Yeah.
And then we ended up with the Lifeline plan, which wasn't perfect, but the concerned citizens from everywhere said, no, this has to be, you have to have access to it. It has to be easy to access. Everybody has to be able to do that, have access to it. So, that's just kind of a little bit of the history. So we fast forward here today, and to have mayoral candidates that didn't respond, 4 of them didn't respond, and 2 of them really who said, no, it's not on our platform. That's concerning. That's
Very
one of those things where you're thinking, how could water affordability not be on your platform after everything historically that's gone on in the last 15 years?
How can
And even a little bit longer.
pertaining to water not be on your platform?
Yeah, it's So anyway, we surveyed them, and we want to talk
Yes.
to you about some of the questions that we ask. Not us, not me and Nicole. The whole People's Water Board Coalition got together, came up with these questions, and like we said, we only 6 responded out of 10 of the mayoral candidates, and that should tell you all that you need to know about your voting on August 5th and how important
Absolutely.
it is for you to get there. We need a mayor that cares if we have safe, affordable water. We need it. It will save lives. And we need somebody who's going to actually fight for the community to have that.
Agree. And of course, we will link the actual survey with the responses in the description box below this video so you can view
Yeah.
it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's, all the information is going to be in the description box down below. But let's get started on some of the questions.
The first question we asked mayoral candidates was, do you have a campaign platform of concern or a platform that addresses the problem of unaffordable water, wastewater, and stormwater bills in Detroit? And as Valerie previously mentioned, 2 of the 6 candidates had no platform or concerns or campaign concerns or platform based around this whatsoever.
That's so telling because these are longtime Detroit residents. They
Yes.
know. And if you get down to the survey, like their responses of, what's important to them, all of them have
It
had
didn't jibe with what their response was to that
not at
question.
all. Especially if you look at the next question, Nicole, that says, have you ever helped someone with water affordability and or water shutoff problems navigate DWSD, the Detroit Water and Sewage Department? All of them said yes. But
Correct.
so what about the 2 that said it's not on their platform? If you've helped someone,
Who's
there's a serious
dealt with
situation.
unaffordable water.
Why isn't that on your platform? It seems very numb.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It shows a level of disconnect from the community in which they claim to want to be an administrator of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's right, and then you get to the third question. Do you believe Detroiters have a right to safe, clean, affordable, and accessible water for drinking, cooking, hygiene, and public health purposes? All
And
of
they
them
all
checked
say
yes.
yes.
They believe
And
it.
then you go to, so you, it's showing like, I feel like either you agree with what we're saying, but maybe you had never reviewed our ideologies on getting water affordability and accessibility to Detroiters, and that's why you don't understand it. I will say that one of the 2 candidates that didn't have it as a platform is a write-in, so maybe they just haven't had the opportunity to review everything and make an informed decision.
Yeah, but they're all longtime Detroiters. They know
Exactly.
historically that people
Exactly.
cannot afford their water in Detroit. All over Michigan, they can't afford their water, but definitely in Detroit, where you've had the United Nations come and say, "Hey, you're totally messing up." People have the human right to water. It's in,
Right.
it's in the, and you're
Well,
not
we
in
know that
compliance
when the
with it,
United
right? Like
Nations
historically, they're just wrong.
Yes, we know when the United Nations came, though, representatives from the city of Detroit in particular were very, very harsh against their opinions
The current
of
mayor.
the current mayor and his, administrative
Cabinet.
employee. Alexis Wiley was very, very demeaning, disrespectful, and very disconnected when they spoke to the United
Well, it
Nations.
drove them nuts that people from Canada were calling the United Nations, that the
Exactly.
people here in Detroit, Michigan Welfare Rights, People's Water Board Coalition, all of us were calling the United Nations like, we
Mhm.
are in serious trouble here. They're shutting off whole neighborhoods.
And not just the fact that we called, but we got a response in person.
And they came. 2
Yes.
rapporteurs came. And we
Yes.
took them to the places where people had been shut off. We let them talk to people. They came to my neighborhood and they saw where they had shut off 3 whole blocks at one time, except for my house. And that's only because I didn't let them. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like they had shut off 3 whole blocks. So that the UN rapporteurs that came were appalled,
I think the
appalled
fact
at what was happening.
that people that the United Nations sent out rapporteurs, and that people like Charity Hicks have literally lost their lives in this fight, should be the reason why this is a priority on all mayoral candidates' platform.
Just a side note for folks who don't know who Charity Hicks was, we considered her the mother of the Detroit water movement. She's
Yes.
the one who started ringing the bells in like January of 2013 and 2014, saying they are planning on shutting off everybody. This is about to be a crisis. She was going everywhere, and she was saying, you know, we were having these mass meetings where she first told us that we're going to get through this together and we're going to wage love.
Yes.
Because this
And
is the
she's
most
a
violent act.
founding
Shutting off
member.
people's water is the most violent act. But the
It
people
is.
are going to wage
It's
love.
literally a tactic used in war.
That's the
So what
first
we're
thing.
saying is the city of Detroit waging war on their communities?
I mean, they were.
And
They
that's
were, and
exactly
she
what
told
it
us to
was.
wage love, come together, wage. She
Yes,
was
yes.
she was
She was
murdered
a
for it. She went to
beautiful,
New York and she
a
was
true
murdered for it.
beautiful soul that
Yeah.
even, yes, she even went to other states fighting for,
She went to New York to the United Nations and she was
yes,
murdered for coming out.
yes. We can move to question number 4. Should all vulnerable households, and the definition of this is low income households with babies, children, people with disabilities, chronically ill persons, and seniors, should those households who are or would have been eligible for the Lifeline program be exempted from water shutoffs? And all of the candidates again said yes.
Yes. They should be protected. People should not be
They should
getting
be
their water
protected,
shut off
which also keeps me going back to the 2 candidates that does not have this on any ways on the radar for their
at
platform
all.
or a campaign concern. How are you concerned about people being exempt from water shutoff, but not concerned enough to make this part of your platform?
Yeah. Yeah. And then you go down to they all agreed on this. Will you seek additional funding and or allocate city revenue to provide water shutoff protection for all DWSD Lifeline enrolled households? As we know, that the Lifeline program wasn't properly funded.
It
And
was not.
so they started kicking people off at the end of the year last year,
Yeah.
you know, December, January, they started kicking people off for no reason whatsoever. And you can't enroll in the Lifeline plan right now as we speak. They still have it on their website that you can, but you can't. You get put in a queue, and it does not
Right.
stop you from getting your water shut off.
And the thing
So that's
is
because it was not funded. So whatever mayor that comes in needs to do whatever it takes to get funding for that Lifeline program. If you
not
can get
only
funding for
that,
the water things downtown that constantly run, and you can get funding for new signs, you can get new funding for everything else. Water is life. These mayoral candidates have one chance to prove that they believe in life, that they want to protect Detroiters, that they
yeah.
want to have people have water in their house. What are we going to do with the next
Not
public health
only
crisis,
that,
right?
but most residents that will go to the website and think they can still enroll, you will have no idea where you are in the queue, because
They're not enrolling people. They ran out of money.
as of the cessation of that program last year, there were still people who had already enrolled in a timely manner.
And
They
still
were
got
still
kicked out.
waiting in queue.
Still got kicked out.
Yeah.
You make a move. If somebody had moved, kicked out. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and people move all the time. Why wouldn't they move with their Lifeline program? Like
exactly.
these things, the hypocrisy of it all, these things really, really are a big deal. You look at
They are.
number 6. Do you support adding a Bill of Rights to the city charter that include the right to affordable water and sanitation? All of them said yes. That's actually really important. The Bill of Rights of the city is like the Constitution. It can't be challenged. Once it's in there, it can't be challenged. You have to
Yes.
make sure that everybody has safe, affordable water.
And that's also something that we were fighting for in the midst of fighting for water affordability with People's Water Board. We have been fighting to get signed, and it actually got put on the ballot but the courts prevented us from promoting it literally until the day before the election. And then they let us know that they were adding the Detroiters' Bill of Rights to the ballot.
I mean, of the first fight for the Detroiters Bill of Rights had access to water in it, but of course it got shot down. And it's something that
Exactly.
we are going to have to consistently organize and fight for as a community, because we need it set in stone.
Yes, we
We
do.
shouldn't have to have it set in stone. Water should be automatically like the top priority for everyone, but it's not.
No,
It's
it's not.
commodified. It's not.
It's a
You
big
know,
business. It's a big business.
it's
We've
not.
talked about Nestle and other companies that fall under them on the previous shows. It's a big business, the commodification and privatization of water. We've spoken about Nestle, which is also known as Blue Triton in North America. We've spoken about Veolia, which is a company that's outside of the United
Monster
States
company.
as a
They
whole
own
and has
everything.
they not only work on transportation, but they work on the commodification of water and making it
They own water
unaffordable.
infrastructure all over the world. They own transportation all over the
Uh-huh.
world.
Uh-huh.
The one open route in and out of Israel and Gaza, Veolia owns that. That's why the
Yes.
people in Gaza don't have access to go anywhere or move anywhere. They're monsters. Veolia is a
And I
monster.
recently
Everybody should
found
look
out
them up.
during my research on some other water affordability related issues, finding out about Northern Michigan and our comrades up there, that Alpena, Michigan has had Veolia as their water provider and infrastructure provider since 1988.
That makes you want to scream into a pillow.
Or put the pillow over Veolia's face.
You know?
Then
You
we
want to
move.
take a swing at
I'll take
7
a
there?
swing at 7. I'll leave the hard one for you.
Oh gosh.
Number 7 on our survey said that some landlords who are responsible for their tenants' water bills have failed to pay them, causing many tenants to have their water shut off. And we wanted to know, would the mayoral candidate enforce lease violations against landlords who are responsible for tenant water bills but do not pay? Every single candidate, again, concurred that this was something that they felt needed to be done.
Right. Well, and let's talk about how important it is. You can go a few Water Wednesdays back about that young
Yes,
lady in in Pontiac who was like, my landlord's not paying my water bill. They shut me off, but and the infrastructure was bad anyway. My plumbing didn't work, like all these other things, right? You can only go a couple Water Wednesdays ago to hear a personal
exactly.
story. And we're going to talk to her again in the next couple, because she's now living out of her car. So look for that Water Wednesday update soon. I mean,
Yes,
you don't have to go any further than just talking to regular everyday people to see that how important it is that landlords are held accountable. They have to be.
exactly. And matter of fact, I would even implore you to talk to more everyday residents in your community than to legislators, than to big
Well,
organizations
get their
and companies,
stories.
because they know what happens on a day-to-day basis in the
That's
community.
right.
They understand what's going on. And sometimes just breaching this conversation with a neighbor may actually save them, because they may feel, a lot of people feel when they're living in a water crisis, they're the only ones that are going through that in the neighborhood. And there is always been a stigmatization put on having a water shut off,
Yeah.
a shame factor
Lots of
that's
shame.
put on the people. And just talking to them, that may bring them a small amount of comfort.
That's right. We need to be telling each other stories. We need to talk to each
Yeah,
other so that we understand that we're all in this together, and there's no way that we can get the things that we need, basic needs, without organizing together. Number 8, over the years, some residential customers who could not afford to pay their water bills took unauthorized action to restore their water service. Will you ask DWSD to end its practice in referring those customers to a county prosecutor for felony action? Now, all of them, it was interesting because there's one X, and you guys are going to be able to see this. There's one X, like,
And one question.
no, like I don't support that. And then one question mark from the mayoral candidates. Everybody else said, yes, I will talk to DWSD and ask them not to. But the fact that when people are so desperate to turn their water back on, that they can be charged with a felony when the water should have never been turned off in the first place.
And not just that,
It's
but
beyond criminal and
yeah.
cruel and wrong.
And it goes even further, Valerie, because as we were saying in one of the previous questions about landlords and tenants, if you're a landlord, you're paying water as part of your rent to your landlord, and your water gets cut off, and your landlord comes out there and restores it with a key, you being the tenant of that household still get the felonious charge.
The whole thing is so messed up.
It
The thought
is.
that they can charge people, that they think that it's okay. In
Yeah.
Michigan, if you turn your water back on, they will charge you a felony.
I'd like to read the 9th question, and
Yeah,
then
let's do
as
it.
you view this survey, you can read responses from the candidates because they're
There's
quite
some
lengthy.
hypocrisy in it.
Yes, definitely. So our 9th question to the candidates, which I feel was one of our most important questions because they had to give a supposed in-depth response, was that please explain anything else that you would like the public, which is us viewers, to know about your thoughts and or actions regarding the issue of water affordability. And we were asked that they limit their comments or responses to 100 words or less, which is great for the time limit of the survey, but some of these comments are very, very short.
They are very short, but also some of them are like, when you compare them to the how they answered the questions above, the questions that we just talked about, they just don't even make any sense. The one young lady
They're not cohesive.
who said, yeah, the one young lady who said that it wasn't part of her platform. You look down here and she says, as CEO of Thaw, I created the first water shutoff prevention program and led initiative that prioritized vulnerable households, da 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 da. Well, up here, you said it wasn't even part of your platform. So, like, it's really important that you read
The comments.
yeah,
The
because there's a lot of
personal
hypocrisy in it.
responses, yes. The fact that you supposedly created this program, but you don't, shows that you understood way back in the
Why
day
isn't it part of your
that this
platform?
was a problem. So why is it not part of your platform?
Yeah. 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 We need to really look into these mayoral candidates and get one that
Mhm.
cares about us, that actually cares about life itself. Water.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, Nicole. I
No
appreciate it.
worries.
All right. To our viewers, please share this. Please show up and vote on August 5th. And we appreciate you tuning in every week and going on this journey with us. Nicole, I appreciate you going on this journey with me every day. Yeah, times are hard. All we can do is come together, fight together, and get our basic needs met. And until next time, try to stay afloat.